Why are we here? Why is this forum important?
Well, the afternoon session actually has three different panels. So the first panel, which I serve, that's called Shattering Myths and Breaking Barriers. And so the purpose of that is to basically challenge what is assumed to be common knowledge about black males. Things that we assume to be true, but we have very little data.
Share with us what those
So,
things are.
for example, people like in D.C., right? Educated black women in D.C. or in Atlanta, if you ask them what's the female to male ratio, they say, okay, 11 women for every one man, 10 to 1, 11 to 1. Actually, that's nowhere near being accurate. Okay, in D.C., in terms of college educated folks, it's about 1.3 to 1, and in Atlanta, it's about 1.8 to 1 in terms of black folks, males and females, with college degrees. So there's misinformation out there on a significant level. We talk about the proportions of black men in prison versus in jail, and those numbers are out of whack. There are actually more college-age black men in college than in prison. So we're really trying to just provide accurate information regarding the state of black males. We're not necessarily going to be able to get into the why of all these things, but we want to lay out what the accurate description of these things are.
Why do we have this misinformation? Where does it come from?
Stereotypes, rumors, personal experience. So if I'm talking to a black woman who's had a very difficult time on the dating scene, she might be mid to late 30s, single in DC or in Atlanta, her personal experience is that all these men are dogs, they gay, in jail, no good. I can't argue with her experience. That's her truth. But I can say, well, that's your truth, but the data show that there are black men that are available. Now, if you have personal preferences, then that's a different conversation. But if you're talking about income levels and things like that, there are marriageable black men that are around. So because it's visceral, because it's personal, because people have these stories, that's what gets circulated. Now we do, and I'm not saying that everything is great. I mean, we do have some issues in terms of dating and marriage. Black folks are the least likely to get married, most likely to get divorced. Yet we're the most spiritual and religious group in America.
Imagine that.
Right. So all that doesn't add up. So we have some things going on in the mix. But in terms of the numbers and the ratios and so forth, we just wanted to provide some clarification.
Who else will be on the panel today, the second session? We just heard Michael Eric Dyson speak. What can we expect to hear in the second session?
So the afternoon, the first panel from 1:30 to 2:30 will be myself and Ivory Tolson, who is an education psychologist in the School of Education here at Howard. So we're going to present a lot of data, not a lot of data. We're going to present some data to help support some of the points we're making about being a critical consumer of information. That black folks, we need to really be critical as we consume information. Second panel will be student voices. So it'll be students from Morehouse and from Howard talking about their lives as black males in college. And third panel will be black masculinity or black males in the media. We have Isaiah Washington sort of representing sort of actor, writer. We have Seeth Mann, who's a producer. We'll have a sports columnist representing sports. Just talking about black males in the media in different dimensions.
Will there be any discussion on the black male and family role?
Not today. We'll probably touch on some of that, but it won't be a central focus of today's panels. That's not to say it's not important.